Alrighty, welcome back everyone. So you see in front of you there is a lot of things going on. We just had a data download take place earlier today. We finally had Dokkan give us their actual official information on the new characters for the Golden Week celebration, so all is finally coming together. We did get a bit of a leak earlier today, which I made a separate vid on, and that basically told us the theme of the celebration, which is Universe 6 versus Universe 7. But to be fair, Dokkan has been off the grid for so long that we kind of had to accept the leak for what it is. But now that we have the official data download, there's just so much going on, new content, all sorts of things. So there really is a lot of things to cover, and what I want to go ahead and do in this vid specifically is focus only on the new characters and the new kits. Of course, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku right here with his Super EZA being officially confirmed, the new Dokkan Fest characters with Goku and Hit, as well as the side banner characters with Piccolo and Magetta. So I want to go ahead and focus on those characters specifically, their animations, their kits, talk about them in a lot greater detail. I may make this into like a splice supercut, or who knows, with a bunch of the other vids I have planned. So what I did, I will say right now, I may do a flashback or something. I actually flipped a coin earlier today.
Flashback.
Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and flip a coin, I guess. So how do I want to do this? Okay, so heads, tails, obviously. Okay, so I'll do. Okay, so heads will be the very long, massive vid, and I guess tails will be the like split up short vids. Okay, yeah, let's do it like that. So heads for a big vid, and then tails for the short vid, split apart. Okay, so let's just see how this goes. Okay. Fingers crossed, it's gonna be one of them. Tails, okay, there you go, tails. I guess that's the plan. So we'll do the short vids.
End of flashback.
But yeah, like that's basically what happened. So right now in this vid specifically, we're only gonna go ahead and focus on the new characters and how they can work. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the vid. If you do, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your thoughts, of course. Let us all know, what do you personally think about the animation quality and the kit designs for the new Dokkan Fest characters with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Hit? And let me know what you guys think about them in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think as well about the other kits in the comments down below, with the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, with the Super EZA, and all the other sort of good stuff right there with the side banner characters. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check this out. So, I already checked which animations are whose. I haven't seen the animations really, but I know this is going to be the side banner characters, so we'll start with the side banner characters and then work our way up. So let's check this out. So starting off with Piccolo, I saw this as a meme. Let me go ahead and pause this real quick. I shouldn't pause this right now. I saw someone point this out. This was hilarious, because why does Piccolo have a line talking about how no one believes in him? Like, that is so depressing, right? Like, Piccolo, I'm sorry, like, I need to revisit Piccolo. Maybe I'll make a vid down the line, like, where I use a Piccolo character and show how good he is, because this makes me feel sad for Piccolo. Like, this is kind of tough. But okay, let's check this out. So, the multi-shadow clone jutsu Piccolo right there, to swap. Actually, some nice animation for the side banner character. That is a sick shot. Actually, wait, hold up. Timeout. Cook. That was a sick shot right there. I know you guys saw what I saw. Magetta, okay, so Magetta's clinkety clank. Was that what that said? That is crazy. They actually did some. Ooh, I actually like that effect. Okay, hold on. Let me pause and talk about some of the things here before we go into like the bigger Dokkan Fest characters, right? I love this. Where's the shot? I love this shot right here. Like this shot with Piccolo with the beam. It does look maybe kind of superficial, or I don't know how to describe it, because it looks maybe kind of wonky. But at the same time, this is actually kind of clean. Maybe because it's like the way they drew the coloring or whatever. I don't know. That looks pretty clean to me. And then this actually looks pretty fire. I will say the animation with the steam and everything, the lava particle kind of effect they do kind of right here, I actually kind of like that. It's not the most cool version in my opinion. It's not the most unique, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but it is kind of nice. It's like a bit of extra effort, which I do love to see from the side banner characters. That means the animation quality is probably going to be pretty nice for the main characters, hopefully, right? Like, surely if the side banners are this good, the main characters are going to be even better. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's check out these other characters. I know this one's going to be Hit. So, let me just say this right now. Like, we'll talk about the kits in just a sec. I have heard that Hit is insanely awesome. And I've heard some people say that Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is very disappointing and probably a bit of a skip for a lot of people. So we'll see right there. But first, let's just see the animations and see how they stack up. So, Hit right here, of course. Okay. OST kind of nice right here. Vivid intro. Come up with stance. Okay, nice. Honestly, a bit basic for Hit, but to be fair, Hit doesn't have the best, I guess, stuff to pull out entirely in terms of like intro stuff. Nice. These are Dokkan Fest TOR, so they're gonna have like a 12 key and stuff. That's kind of nice. Ooh, wait, this is clean because this is good. Is this in 1x? I don't know. I think this is in 1x, so it's gonna look even better in 12 key, in like the 2x speed. That could be a KO screen. Oh, he's evolving. This is actually kind of sick. Okay, bro, throwing up the signs, okay. Watch Hit be like an inventor of burning attack. Like, watch Hit bring burning attack back the way he be moving his hands and everything. Alright, let's see here. Okay, nice. Throwing the hands, we love to see it. Hit, all about, you know, throwing those hands. Okay, it's alright. It's, oh, you know what? Okay, I know what I'm gonna say in just a sec. This is still pretty clean. This is what I'm gonna say. Oh, the shots for Hit are clean. The problem is a lot of it relies on the sprite in question, right? It relies on the sprite taking the damage. Like, this is a problem. And it's not Hit's fault, it's the sprite. If the sprite was better, then Hit would look so much cleaner. But because the sprite looks like this, then Hit suffers because Hit is in the background of the shot, and the main thing we see is the sprite. So that's a bit of a problem. But I gotta say, the OSTs were kind of fire. I actually really do love the OSTs. The intro animation was kind of okay, but the super attack animations were kind of clean, especially like the 12 key is basic 12 key. Like, that looks so sick, the way like it flows and everything. I think it's gonna be clean. It really is gonna look so sick. I mean, and I think this is a 1x speed, so if it's 2x speed, yeah, it's gonna be insane. But okay, Hit, we did his thing. Let's go ahead and check out Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. I'm not gonna lie, Goku needs to cook. Animations wise, I said in my last vid, Dokkan needs to lock in with the kits, with the character design, everything. They really need to lock in, because otherwise this year is not really looking good for a lot of people so far, so we'll have to see. But let's check out these animations. Please, Dokkan gods, make Kaioken Goku look like a boss. Let's check this out. Alright. Kaioken, nice, nice, nice. I love that, I love that. Where's the scream? I heard some people say that he doesn't scream, which is kind of annoying. Ooh, they took... Is that a straight one-to-one from the anime? That might be a straight one-to-one from the anime. That's actually pretty clean. Ooh, do you like... Oh, I love that. The way the Kaioken kind of flickers around his face. Yo, this looks fire. This actually looks so sick. Nice with the little, like, effects on, like, his face, I guess, with, like, the blur and everything. That's looking pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, well, I mean, okay, this, I know what this is gonna be. This has to be Kaioken times 10. We know this has to happen. Yo, that's actually, ooh, look at that. Poppy, that is crazy right there. Please don't quote me out of context, because that just sounds so bad now that I'm rerunning in my head. But Kaioken times 10, we love to see it. Ooh, okay, what is this, a counter? It's not a counter. I mean, okay, Goku's taking damage, so he's gonna be reviving, I guess? Yeah, this is a revival, okay. Kaioken Goku with a revival. This is very interesting because we just had STR Cell with a revival and he was a tournament participant's character. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, whoa, this is crazy. So Goku doesn't have a revive, or he does. No, let me make sure I clear this up. He does have a revive, but it's like a finish skill. It's like the 8th anniversary GT duo, right? Like, you know, the STR Goku and Vegeta, where they had the standby. You know, their standby, I guess, had a revival, and I guess that allowed them to get a finish skill where it did a spirit bomb after the revival. So it's gonna be the same thing as that. That's pretty cool. Okay, animations wise, I like it. I think they're all pretty clean. But okay, we already looked at the animations. Let's go ahead and check out these kits, because I think now we definitely need to check out the kits. That's gonna be so important. So, as I said earlier, we'll be a bit in depth in terms of how these characters work. I guess what I want to do is probably talk about, like, I guess the Cybanner character with their specific Dokkan Fest. So we'll do Goku first, then we'll do the Cybanner Piccolo, then we'll do Hit, and then we'll do Magetta, and then we'll do the Super Easy right after. So let's go ahead and check this out. So Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, Kaioken. So starts off as Kaioken Goku. You know, so tech character right here, you know, tech design, whatever. Leader skill, Universe 7, and full powers with that, you know, post 10th anniversary buff. Extra 50% for characters and tournament participants or superheroes. Pretty interesting leader skill. I actually will say right now, I was kind of wondering if STR Cell would be kind of written off as value because of all these tournament participant buffs and everything. I think that still can happen, but, you know, obviously Goku's not leading tournament participants, so that's something that will protect Cell in terms of his value. But okay, so we got that. Super attack, so, you know, his Kaioken, Kamehameha. Greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, cause immense damage while sacrificing 5% HP. So, that's kind of tough, but it does make sense. Kaioken characters, you know, Kaioken Goku has lost HP in the past with his super attack effects. That makes sense. Obviously, not stacking. So, Goku not built for Festival of Battles. So that's interesting. Not every character has to be built for that sort of content specifically, right? So I'm not mad at that, but because he's not built for that, we have to see what he can do with the rest of the passive, because that becomes even more important now, right? So let's go ahead and see this. So he has that intro, which can be done whether 2 or more tournament participants, allies, or another representatives of Universe 7 ally on the team upon the entry. So 2 tournament participants or 1 Universe 7 ally on the team, not even on the same rotation. And that's actually pretty good, because obviously, you have like tournament participants characters include someone like Hit, for example, his opposite, but also you're talking about like Go Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta from like the 10th anniversary. So there's some options right there. MUI Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta, the Int version. So different options there. Yeah, I'll take it. With the intro, so guards all attacks guaranteed, defense plus 170%, and launches additional super guaranteed for 3 turns. Okay, not the longest intro buff, but it is what it is. Basic effects, so 200% to attack and defense, keep us 3, nice. High chance to perform a crit. Remember, a high chance means a 50% chance, so 50% chance to do a crit, 50% chance built-in dodge, nice, love to see that. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type other than tech orbs to tech key spheres, so he's an orb changer, that's going to be pretty nice. To his own type, so I guess he may need some orbs down here. Yeah, it looks like he needs some orbs right here, so yeah, I do appreciate the orb changing. That makes things a bit easier for rotations maybe, or certain stuff like that, so I'll take it. When attacking with 12 or more ki, which basically means just getting the super, attack and defense 200%, defense plus 100% when HP is 70% or more, attack plus 100% when HP is 70% or less. Interesting. Let's keep going before I go ahead and come back to that. With 1 or more tech key spheres obtained, so tech orb changer right there, so 1 tech orb, attack plus 100%, launches an additional guaranteed super attack, and then when all allies in the same turn are Universe 7 characters, attack plus 70% on top of all this, and then a boost to his crit chance by 30%. After the character's or an ally's revival skill is activated, he will guard all attacks for the rest of the fight guaranteed, defense plus 170%, launch additional guaranteed super, and a chance of performing a crit and a chance of dodging enemy's attack increased by 20%. All this stuff for the rest of the fight. Wow, okay, and then also let me go ahead and check out the standby before I talk about the kit. So, standby here stands by for 4 turns, so that can be done from the 4th turn for the character's entry. So basically, if the math is right, that's like turn 4 to turn 6 at the latest. You can stand by for 4 turns, and looks like right here's his standby. So in his standby, I guess he goes Kaioken times 10. Still has his Kamehameha. It looks like it's a bit different though, so massively raise attack for 1 turn and cause immense damage while sacrificing 10% HP. So interesting. It didn't show up, I don't think, on the super attack animations, but maybe it's just the same thing, just with a different kind of flair to it. I don't know. But obviously more HP loss right there. With this passive in the standby, so keep us 10, attack plus a 200%, no defense, really interesting. Changes key spheres, all key spheres to tech orbs 1 time only, so maybe a bit of a nuker. When attacking with 10 or more ki, which is going to get that right off bat, attack plus 159%. For every key sphere obtained, attack and a chance of performing a crit increase by 10%, and a chance of evading enemies' attack 10% within the turn before attacking. Okay, interesting. With 10 or more key spheres obtained, launches additional guaranteed super. When the character or an ally attacking the same turn is KO'd, revives with 70% HP recovered, and the finish effect will be activated, which will do 159% boost to his attack as well when it's activated. The finish is going to be right down here. Okay, so when the character's revival is activated, counters with super intense power against the enemy who KO'd the character or an ally in the same turn. Okay. Pretty straightforward there. We see his links, of course. Most of his links look to be the same as what the tech gods would want, so that's gonna be pretty awesome right there for linking. Categories, was he on like 18 categories? Things like Earthbred Fighters are good, Realm of Gods is good, Superheroes, love to see a bit more buff there. Tournament participants still getting buffs even now. Pure Saiyans, of course, always love that. Power Beyond Super Saiyan. This is going to be awesome because he's going to be seeing potential support from the Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the 10th anniversary. So that is going to be a lot of good stuff there. Kamehameha and stuff. I actually will say this is a pretty good kit in the grand scheme of things. I can kind of see maybe why some people are kind of upset with his kit is that he does do a lot of HP recovery. With his kit, he is doing a lot of supers. Each super is taking off the HP. Now, if this was only conditional for the 1 super, maybe that would be okay, but because he's losing every single time, 3 to 4 supers in a turn, that could mean 20% of your HP gone, and some of these bosses are not forgiving. So, it is going to be a bit interesting to see how this works. I think, in theory, the ideal setup for Goku for the most part will be to keep him on rotation, probably as a slot 2 character or probably a slot 3 character, which is actually, I'm not too mad at that. You know, I actually enjoy the fact that characters nowadays, I enjoy characters who are able to be put into different positions. You know, obviously we have certain characters who recently have been released, like, you know, Daima Vegeta, who are built for specific slot purposes, you know, slot 1 and whatnot. And that's all well and good, but at the same time, it means you're very limited in your ability as a unit, and that can be problematic. So, you know, a character like Goku, no slot restrictions, no real category restrictions other than like his intro and his kit right down here, which, to be fair, this is kind of minor, I think, in the grand scheme of things. A bit of an attack boost and crit chance is nice, but it's not defensive tools. So I think, in that sense, you know, Goku, I think, is going to be pretty decent. I certainly think he's going to be better than STR Cell. Let's not get it twisted. But I think he's going to be a pretty good TUR. I think some people have been saying that he's, you know, a skip and everything. I don't know about that. I think I'm still going to summon for him. I think that, you know, skipping STR Cell and Pycon has been good for me because now I can summon for this guy right here. But I understand that maybe there are some concerns about the HP loss and also some other stuff. So the thing is, he does still want certain conditions to be met for like teammates, so that's something that you will miss out on this kit. He does have this revival. So the revival is pretty good. Basically, you see right here, it's boosting his dodge chance and his crit chance by 20%, so that makes this a 70% crit chance right here, plus a 70% dodge chance when this is completed, plus technically an extra 30%, so that could be a guaranteed crit if this condition is met here. But, you know, other than that, all the stuff that he's getting is what he had in his intro. So, you know, not necessarily an extra boost. He doesn't have any sort of damage reduction, which is important to know because he does have the dodge chance, so he's kind of like a dodge or die type of character who also can guard. It's very similar to Pycon, actually, now that I think about it, but you know, I mean, he doesn't have any damage reduction. That could be an issue. It depends on how they kind of design fights going forward. But yeah, I mean, Goku, I think his base kit looks fine to me. I'm not really upset at his base kit. And then I guess with his standby, you know, obviously he's more attack oriented. That tells me that you probably want to put him maybe slot 2, actually, because if anything, he probably will just get wiped off the face of the earth anyways. So maybe do slot 2, maybe maximize your turns or something, then get the revival off. And then, of course, I appreciate the fact that his revival is for every ally in the same turn. Not like STR Cell with his bitch ass, you know, just doing it for himself. This is for everyone on the team. I love revives that work like this because that means it's a team protector mechanic, not just an individual mechanic. So, you know, I do appreciate that. I appreciate that going back to his base kit, he doesn't need his specific, you know, revival to work for all of this to happen. It's nice if it can work like that, but it's not necessary, so I appreciate that. The only thing that matters for Kaioken Goku as far as his revival activating is just so you can get this finish skill. But even then, it's like, it is what it is. So, you know, I'm not really too... I think this Goku may be a bit better than some people give credit, but I think also it's one of those things where Goku maybe will improve over time as we get more superhero buffs, as we get more things going on for the categories like Universe 7 and stuff. I think that's when we'll see Goku start to see more value. But right now, you know, I think he's going to be a pretty fun character. I think he's going to be fitting onto tournament participants pretty nicely. He may end up being one of the reasons why STR Cell gets floated off, because I think with all the different buffs we may see, it's probably very likely that, you know, Cell is may not going to have like any sort of real good value on that team. Who knows? We'll have to see. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Okay, we talked about Goku. Let's go ahead and talk about the Saiyabander Piccolo. So Piccolo here, 130% lead for Battle of Wits and Gifted Warriors. Okay, so, you know, whatever, type of categories, whatever. Super attack, massively raised attack for 1 turn, cause supreme damage. So the passive, let's see here. So defense plus 200%, high chance to dodge, so 50% right there. 70% damage reduction, that starts out pretty good. When attacking, attack plus 500%, okay, cool. For every attack received, damage reduction rate decreases by 10%, no more than 50%, okay. And attack will also decrease by 50%, no more than 500%. Okay. Let me finish the kit before I judge. For every attack evaded, defense plus 40% up to 200%, okay. For 4 turns from the character's entry, the character's super attack will be sealed, and then the chance of evading will increase by 20%. Starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry, key plus 3 and attack plus 500%, plus a one-time only attack plus 500% boost, and performing a guaranteed crit when attacking with 12 or more key, and a chance of dodging increased by 20% as the 3rd slot unit, starting from the 5th turn for the character's entry. Is there anything else that Piccolo offers? Category, I mean, he's got some okay links, you know, categories. What was that, like 9, 10, 11 categories. Being on demonic power is nice. You know, tournament participants, superheroes, of course, fused fighters. I forget technically Piccolo is a part of that, but fused fighters, of course, Namekians. But this is a weird kit. Can I say it for what it is? This is a weird kit. So basically the way this works, I guess, is that he starts off with this nice kind of damage reduction, turn 1 great character kind of thing. Once you put him in that turn 1, the more attacks he's receiving, the more he gets cucked, the more he gets screwed over. And the thing is, he's losing his attack, but also, like, even if he had his attack, you're not able to do a super for the first 4 turns. So that's basically like up to turn 4 to turn 6 at the latest, you won't be able to do a super with him. And then by then you could do a super, but it's like, in theory, right, like, basically the fights can be over. Like, I'm thinking of where Piccolo could be good. The idea that comes to mind is battle harm formidable foes, because that's short form content. That's where the 70% damage reduction will be great. If obviously he'll lose it, but like the fight won't be that long. But the problem with Piccolo is he wants the fight to be short so that he doesn't get exposed right here, but also he wants it to be kind of long just so that he can get this extra kind of position in slot 3, he'll get his supers and everything. It's really weird. Like, am I mistaken? It is so weird. Like, I honestly do not like this kit. I can see maybe a situation or two where this kit is usable, but this feels to me like someone at Dokkan was just having fun and having shits and giggles and decided to make Piccolo like this. Like, it just feels so weird. It feels like it's counterintuitive in the ways it wants to work, and it's just messing up the whole flow for Piccolo in terms of what can make him a good value character for a team. So yeah, I guess maybe Piccolo's not that great, but it is what it is. Okay, let's keep going. So next up, we'll talk about the opposite for Goku. So let's check out Hit. Now, Hit, I have heard a lot of great things about Hit. A lot of great things. I've heard people say that he's probably the number 1 TUR, which is going to be usurping Kid Goku. So we have to see Hit. He needs to cook. Universe 6, rapid growth, accelerated battle, that 10th anniversary boost, plus the extra 50% for characters and tournament participants or super bosses. Okay, cool. In-type character, I don't want to forget that he's got built-in dodge with a 55% hit potential system. Super attack, raises attack and defense, so he's stacking, cause immense damage, high chance to stun. So very cool. Already a stacking character, which means he will work for Festival of Battles. Love to see that. Activates the intro when there are 2 or more tournament participants, allies, or another Universe 6 ally on the team. So kind of like the opposite, but the same kind of design as a Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. With this, so for 6 turns, boosting the dodge chance against the enemy's attack by 20%, defense plus 160%, and launches an additional guaranteed super for 6 turns. That is pretty strong, because for 6 turns, that means you're getting more rotations with Hit. That means you're getting more stacking with Hit. So Hit can do more right there, I think, in value. That's pretty good. Dodge chance, 20% on its own is nothing. We have to see what the rest here is offering. So basic effect, attack and defense plus 200%, key plus 2, high chance to perform a crit, high chance to dodge, launch additional has a great chance to become a super. I think, unless I've already forgotten, I'm pretty sure this is a copy paste from Kaioken Goku, so it's the same thing there. When attacking with 12 more key, attack and defense plus 100%. For every attack performed, attack plus 60% within the turn, and for every attack that's evaded, defense plus 60%, and a chance of evading an enemy's attack increases by 6% within the turn. Wow. Okay, let me finish the kit here. So every time the character performs 3 or more supers in battle, the attacked enemy's attack and defense will decrease by 30% up to once within a turn. Up to once within a turn, he will seal the enemy's super, and then once in the turn, he will interrupt the attacked enemy. And when the target enemy is in the following sets of status, so HP is 60% or less, attack down, defense down, stun, or sealed, I guess, attack plus 60%, and attacks will be guaranteed to hit. So very cool, interesting kit for his base form. So basically, he's gonna have 50% chance to dodge, up to 70% chance for the first 6 turns. When that happens, every attack he's dodging will boost his own dodge chance, making him basically a re-rendition, if you will, of AGL MUI Goku with his EZA. So he'll become better the more attacks he dodges, more defense, more attack, within a turn. So that can be pretty strong. That's actually, yo, wait, I didn't even think about that. This is going to make this very crazy, because this is kind of similar to the buff that Carnival LR Family Kamehameha Gohan has, where the more supers he does with a turn, he does more attacks and damage and everything. This will be even better in theory, because I don't believe it's as big of a buff, but it's going to be also with the stacking included. So the stacking included plus that is going to make this so much better. So this could be very powerful stuff right here. the interrupting, the sealing, all that stuff, it is only once within a turn, but having those things is really nice. It really is nice. Interrupting is a mechanic that you don't see too often, I feel like, nowadays, but it is still very valuable. It can be very helpful in terms of getting rid of the super if it's post your attack or everything, so pretty good stuff there. Okay, active skill. Improvement. So I did kind of post this on my social media, of course, on Twitter, so I recommend you guys check that out, of course, but I made a joke before the kits got revealed that Hit, in theory, because he, in the Universe 6 battle and everything, he improved, which is how he got stronger. So I made a joke about how they could maybe make him serious again or something. I see they've taken the joke to heart, because he's improving. He's changing his stance due to improvement. So can be done after the character does 6 or more attacks in battle, or after the character evades 3 or more enemies' attacks in a battle once only. So very easy conditions. This can be done in theory by like the second time Hit shows up on rotation. So pretty easy stuff right there. Categories, before I go any further, not the most categories, but was that like 7 categories? Universe 6, he leads that, so that's helpful, of course. Tournament participants is nice to have him there. Super bosses hasn't seen a lot of love lately, but it can maybe get like a rerun or like a return or something. Space traveling wars, legendary existence. Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff there. He actually links with PyCon interestingly decently right there. I did not expect that, but also it seems like he can link with himself. So great stuff right there. We love to see that. So Hit, let's keep going. So with his ascended form, with his improved state, so lead is the same. Super attack, greatly raise attack and defense, so the stacking is even better. Great chance to stun, love to see that. Key +3 and attack and defense plus 260%, okay. Great chance, which is a 70% chance to do a crit, 70% chance to dodge. Launch additional guaranteed super. Launch another additional that has a great chance to become a super. Attacks are guaranteed to hit. Attacks enemies, attack and defense automatically decrease by 30%. And will guaranteed seal the attacked enemy's super, even if it's not a super of his own, which is really awesome right there. With 12 or more key, attack and defense plus another 160% interrupts the attacked enemy. For every attack performed, 66% to attack within a turn. For every attack received or evaded, defense plus 66% and boosting the dodge chance by 6% within a turn. And then when all allies in the same turn are Universe 6 characters, has a built-in scouter. That's really awesome. That is actually really good. When receiving an attack from an enemy who is hit by the character's super, he will boost his dodge chance by 16% as well. So let's do the math here. Let me try to math this out. So 70% chance right here to dodge, plus, let's just put him in slot 3 hypothetically. That's going to be 86%, chance to dodge, and then he can still dodge after that. So 86% in theory, then that's going to be what? Plus 6%, 12%. So 12% plus that's going to be like 98%. So basically 3 attacks you dodge after doing the super, like assuming like hit slot 2 and everything, then you'll get guaranteed dodge against the rest of the fights, like the rest of the attacks in the turn. And then I guess in slot 1, you have to dodge and whatever, but then yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So actually, the math is the same either way technically, isn't it? So yeah, this is freaking good. I can see why people think the Hit is built different in that sense. And we still have the active. I see the active right down here. So the active can cause ultimate damage and delay a single targeted enemy's attack for 1 turn. Can be activated when HP is 66% or less, or when facing only 1 enemy starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. Wow, so he has a Ghost Usher in his active for 1 turn as well. So understand what Hit has to offer. He has interruption, he has sealing, he is debuffing for the opponent for stats and everything, he's boosting his own dodge chance, he has a built-in scouter potentially, and also he has a Ghost Usher. He has all sorts of different mechanics. It's crazy because Kaioken Goku really only has a bunch of supers and I guess the revive, which the revive is helpful in the guard and stuff, but that's really what Kaioken Goku has. Hit has more gimmicks to it, and he's combining them, and they're all really good. Like, it's actually really powerful. Yeah, Hit, I've heard some people say they're only going to summon for Hit and skip the rest. I can see the reasons why. I'm still going to summon for both, I'm not going to lie, but I can see it. I can see Hit being the best T-War in the game. I can definitely see it. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Magetta. I know I've been kind of yapping and talking a lot, but I want to make sure to talk about these characters in more detail and focus on their kits. So, Magetta, 130% lead for Universe 6 and tournament participants. Cause supreme damage to the enemy, raise allies' attack and defense by 30% for 2 turns. pretty bad. We need characters who can do a lot of boosting to attack and defense nowadays, unless you got a bunch of damage reduction down here and other stuff. Basic, so 200% to attack and defense, key +1, 30% flat out damage reduction. When taking an attack, 200% to attack and defense. When all allies in the same turn are Universe 6 characters, orb changing of a certain type of orbs other than physical orbs to physical key spheres, built-in guard against all attacks, nice. When attacking with 12 or more key, all allies will gain defense plus 20%, nice bit of support there, and Universe 6 allies will also gain attack plus 20%. When receiving a super, damage reduction rate increases by 20% temporarily, and for one time only, it will also further increase by another 20% temporarily. Okay, so, I see that. After receiving a super, the character will be stunned for 3 turns. Oh my god. They made the Sidebender characters, like, stupid. They made them full of gimmicks and crap. Okay. Not even fun gimmicks, just like stupid, silly gimmicks. Okay. So, Magetta, he gets shook if he takes his super for 3 turns. He won't be able to do any support with his super attack effect. And then, I mean, he won't, yeah, this is kind of annoying. It's nice that he boosts his defense and everything when receiving attack, but 50% damage reduction, which is in theory what you're going to be getting if he faces a super, 50% damage reduction plus guard is really not good enough. We know it's not good enough because we've seen other characters like Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta not being able to tank with that in their kit. So Magetta, a Sidebender character, I do not have the highest of hopes of this. I think I was going to say Piccolo might be the worst Sidebender character, but I don't even know if I want to say that. I think Magetta may be worse. I think Magetta may be worse because he's just more stupid, and then at least Piccolo can have some value, I feel like more so in Battle Hard Formidable Foes. So I feel like it's tough. Both are kind of just stupid. I think both are really bad. I think Piccolo is just slightly better in my opinion. But yeah, this is kind of rough. I mean, the links, who gives it? He only has 6 links. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. 2 categories, Universe 6 and tournament participants. That is so disgusting. I mean, what is there much? Yeah, there's nothing else to say. This guy's ass. Oh, this is cheeks. Okay, whatever. At least Hit looks good. Hit looks good. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku looks pretty good in my opinion as well. I mean, I understand that people are not gonna like it as much, but I think he's not that bad either. You know, we looked at Piccolo. The last one we have to talk about is Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. So, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, a lot of people were hoping that he would get a Super UZA once we got like the teasers and the leaks on the whole theme. Obviously, we see it's happening. But yeah, so let's see what he can do. So, Super EZAs, remember, the super attack effect and the leader skill will not change, only the passive. So, leader skill, 120% to attack, HP attack and defense, AGL boost right there. So, AGL type leader right there. Super attack effect, Ki Blast Super, greatly raise attack and cause immense damage to the enemy while sacrificing 5% HP. So, Goku can, yeah, I believe he can stack attack. So, that's actually going to be really helpful there for any sort of long content, I guess, if you want to like show off big, like, you know, damage stats and everything. Passive skill. So, Ki +2 and attack and defense plus 259%. High chance to perform a crit built in. As the 3rd slot character in a turn, damage reduction plus 40% and launch an additional guaranteed super. Wow, okay. I actually kind of mess with that. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of love that. When attacking, 159% boost to his attack and a crit chance boost by 20% when HP is 77% or less. When HP is 59% or less, it will also further increase by 30% for crit chance and attack. Okay, cool. When receiving a super, or not super, my brain farted. My brain farted, I'm so sorry. When receiving an attack, defense plus 159%, defense and damage reduction increase by 20% when HP is 77% or less, and defense and damage reduction increase by 30% when HP is 59% or less. Okay, gotcha. I want to see, I'm curious if these effects will stack, because if they stack, that'll be really awesome. If not, I mean, 70% damage reduction is still good, but it would be cooler if it was 90%, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just what I'm curious about. Starting from the 7th turn from the start of battle, okay, so in turn 7, attack plus 159% boost for one time only, and performs a guaranteed crit for one time only as well. When there's a superclass enemy, all allies attack and defense plus 40%. Wow, that is a juicy amount of support. And when there's extreme class enemy, all allies will gain the same boost for 2 turns. Wow, this guy is gonna be like a Temu Glory or something. I don't even know. It's gonna be awesome. The links, obviously he should link pretty well with the new Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. There you go, 7 links, but also linking well with the tech gods. So that's gonna be awesome. There are a bunch of categories, you know, 15, 16, 17 categories right there. Yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love with what he has to offer. I think, is it, I wonder if some people are going to say that this Super Easy A is better than the new Kaioken Goku. I don't know if I'm going to say that, but the fact that this guy wants to be a slot 3 character, the fact that he gives so much support, the fact that he can give support for multiple turns, that is awesome. The fact that he should be able to stack attack, do a bunch of stuff there, boosting attack, boosting defense simultaneously, that's really good stuff right there. And, you know, for me, one of the biggest concerns I have for Kaioken Goku was I thought he might get weaker over time. The only way that he gets technically weaker over time is that with his supers, he like sacrifices HP. But other than that, he doesn't get weaker as the fight progresses, so he will get better over time. That's actually really powerful too. So yeah, I really do love that. Now, okay, so I kind of looked at the kits really, I kind of jibber-jabbered a lot there, but let me go ahead and kind of like give my final thoughts on these characters, talk about like certain stuff, you know, how to build them maybe and stuff. So, Hit looks amazing. I think I could definitely see him, and I may be willing to argue him as the top 1 TUR. Goku, in terms of non-Easy A's, I have to think about who we've gotten for non-Easy A TURs. I think Kaioken Goku's probably like a top 3. I don't know if he's better than Kid Goku. That's kind of tough to say, but I think there's maybe situations where he is going to be better, obviously, like situations where, you know, there's not room for stacking. But also, Kid Goku has a really solid, kind of funny kind of kit the way it works. And Kaioken Goku has some interesting stuff about him that I'm just not too sure about how certain things can look. I'm hopeful, but I'm not, like, entirely optimistic, I guess. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But he leads some nice categories. I think the thing about both of these characters with Hit and Goku is they're going to age pretty well over time, I think, if more buffs come their way. Especially Goku, you know, we know we're going to probably see some other Universe 7 buffs, some more full power buffs probably. For Hit, you know, covering things like rapid growth and accelerated battle, those two categories are going to help Hit a lot. We may not see Universe 6 too much, but these other ones we can see a lot more. So I think both will be pretty good. The Sidebender characters, get them out of my face. They are trash. I don't even want to like pull up any of their images anymore. I'm disgusted with them. They are disgusting. So leave them out of the way. It is what it is. You know, we have to make sacrifices here. I'm okay with the Sidebender characters being trash if their main characters are good. I think we'll all agree there. And then the Super Easy A, I think that's pretty good too. I think it really is good. I don't know if, like, how he would measure up with characters like Buhan and like the top Super Easy A's in the game, but I think Goku's probably like a top 3 Super Easy A. I think I want to say that off rip, and I think in a certain light, I could maybe make an agenda push to put him as the number 1 Super Easy A based off the argument that he gets technically better over time and he is meant to work as a slot 3 character, which means you don't have to screw up your rotations to make a Super Easy A work, right? So I think that's something that I cannot, you know, underappreciate about Goku in that sense. But yeah, I mean, you know, all this stuff is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying this. But yes, we do that. Obviously, you know, in terms of like him potential builds, for Goku, for the Super Easy A Goku right here, probably additionals right there, like off the bat. Additionals, maybe throw in some dodge just to be safe. He does have the built-in crit chance. He does have a bunch of damage reduction, but add some dodge just in case things go sideways. Hit, I mean, obviously, you're going to want to put dodge on that character. You're going to want to just feed into his dodge, feed into his additionals, give him that, of course. I would say probably prioritize the dodge over the additionals for him because the dodging is going to be more important for him. The attack stacking will happen regardless, but dodging I think is going to be more important. Kaioken Goku, maybe the reverse. Maybe focus on... Actually, no, I'd say do the same thing for him. Actually, yeah, for more so for Goku than Hit. Emphasize the dodge and then do the additional. I think that makes sense. And yeah, for the Sidebender characters, I'm not gonna lie, I do not care to build these characters because I just am so disgusted by them. But I guess, you know, if we have to talk about them, Piccolo, I mean, give him dodge. That's really what it is. Just give them full dodge. I think same thing could be said for Vegeta. I know they have damage reduction stuff. Give them full dodge. That's really what they need. I think that's the best way to keep them around is to give them full dodge at this point in time, which is sad, but it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think about them in the comments down below again. Let me know what you think about all the different characters, the animation quality, all the kit designs. Let me know what you guys think specifically about the new Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and the new Dokkan Fest Hit. We love to see these guys coming in the game after such a long time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid again. If you did enjoy the vid, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, show your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.